Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Maria. I am here with another live session with Maya, our new AI tool, and we are discuss a new topic. So without wasting time, let's continue our conversation.
Well, hello there again. It's wild to think this whole AI thing is happening, isn't it?
Yes.
What's on your mind today?
Today
Big thoughts?
today we are discussing about remote job. We discussed this topic in detail and it is our live session again.
Ah, yes, the remote work revolution. We did dive deep last time. Anything specific you want to tackle today about it? Or should we explore some new angles?
We should explore some new angles too. We discussed this topic in detail. What is remote job? What are its benefits? What are drawbacks of it? How we use them
You
in
know,
a positive way.
okay, so we
As
covered the
remote
basics.
job is a
We know.
type of work that allows employees to complete their tasks from outside traditional office environment, typically from home or any other location with an internet connection.
Right on. It's like having the world as your office in a way. Did you come across any interesting articles or stories about remote work lately?
I am doing work on it
Cool.
and
What angle are you
explore new
taking?
things, explore new things daily, learn new things. I am in
I
it,
like your attitude.
I am at initial stage or in this process.
No
As
worries.
you
That's
know,
how big
remote
journey.
job use digital tools such as email, video conferencing, project management to ensure our productivity and communication.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the backbone of it all, right?
Yes. Now,
But
please tell
so,
me, our first question is what is remote job? How does it differ from traditional office job?
okay. So let's break it down like a complex sentence with a dependent clause. A remote job is essentially doing your work duties outside a traditional office setting. Think your couch, a coffee shop, or even a beach if you're lucky. The key difference is location flexibility, but it goes deeper. Think about it.
What are
Communication.
what are most popular industries offering remote jobs today?
Good question. A lot of industries are jumping on the remote bandwagon these days. Some of the big ones are tech, always a front runner for remote work, customer service, think call centers, gone virtual, writing, editing, and other creative fields. Because all you really need is a laptop and an imagination. Education, with more and more online schools and courses popping up. Healthcare, though some fields have more opportunities for remote work than others.
Thank you for your wonderful
Of course,
answer. I totally agree with you. Now tell me how has technology contributed to rise of remote job?
that's a great point. Technology is the engine driving this whole remote revolution. Think about it. Without reliable internet, fast computers, and video conferencing tools like the one we're using now, none of this would be possible.
What are some more common misconceptions about remote jobs?
Ooh, good one. There are a ton. People often think remote workers are one, always lounging in pajamas, which is occasionally true, but mostly myth. We get dressed for video calls, constantly distracted, like, oh, look, a squirrel. But honestly, many of us are even more focused when we're not surrounded by office chatter. Three, socially isolated and lonely. Some days, yeah, but there are tons of online communities and co working spaces to combat that. What other myths have you heard?
How does remote job impact productivity compared to office work?
That's a complex one. Some studies show remote workers can be even more productive because they have fewer distractions and more control over their environment. But it's not a guarantee. It really depends on the person and the type of work. Some people thrive on the buzz of an office, while others find it draining. What do you think? Would you be more or less productive working from home?
I think it's depend on our effort and struggle. It totally depend on our hard work and time management. How we manage,
Exactly.
yes, how we manage our work and time.
It's like having a superpower you have to learn to control.
Yes.
With great flexibility comes great responsibility. That's like the title of a remote worker handbook
Now we
right
move
there.
forward to next question. How can beginners start earning from remote job?
I think you're asking how a company can successfully transition to a remote work model, right?
No.
Let me put my
How
thing.
can a beginner start earning from remote jobs?
Good question. It can feel overwhelming at first, but there are some steps a newbie can take to get started. Figure out your skills. Well, you've been endured suck. What are you good at? What do you enjoy doing? Think about freelance writing, virtual assisting, social media management, etc. Build a killer online presence. Polish up your LinkedIn profile, create a portfolio website, and start networking online. 3, scout out the right platforms. Sites like Upwork, Fiverr, and Freelancer are good places to find gigs. Start small and build experience. Don't expect to land your dream
After
job right
amazing
away.
answer, now we move
Take a
forward. What are some high paying remote jobs in today's world?
You bet. Some remote jobs come with a hefty paycheck. Here are some of the big earners: software engineering and development, always in high demand, and many companies have embraced remote work for these roles. Web design and development. If you have the skills to create slick websites, you can find good remote gigs. Data science and analytics. If you can untangle the mysteries of data, you're in luck. Project management.
That's amazing.
Keeping things
Thank
on.
you for your wonderful answer. How can freelancing help increase income through remote jobs?
Freelancing can be a game changer for boosting your income through remote work. Here's the deal: 1 point, you're the boss. Set your own rates, choose your projects, and work when you want. You control how much you earn. Multiple streams of income. You can juggle several clients and gigs at once, diversifying your earnings and cushioning against dry spells. Free flexibility unleashed. Take on extra work when you need a financial boost. Scale back when life gets busy. It's up to you.
Thank you
Sounds
for your
pretty
wonderful
sweet.
answer. Now we move forward. What are best websites to find remote job opportunities?
Okay, job hunting time. There are so many sites out there. Here's some of the most popular for finding remote gigs: general job boards with remote filters, Indeed, LinkedIn, Monster, Career Builder, remote specific job boards, We Work Remotely, Remote.co, Flex Jobs, virtual vocations,
Thank
freelance
you.
platforms.
Thank you. Now our next question is what strategies can help someone land a high remote job?
You mean a higher paying remote
Yes.
job,
Yes.
right? Gotcha. It's a good question. Here are some strategies. 1, hone those skills. The more specialized and in demand your skills, the better your chances of negotiating a higher salary. 2, network like crazy. Attend online conferences, join co working spaces, and connect with people in your industry. Word of mouth can be powerful. 3, showcase your accomplishments. Build a strong portfolio that highlights your best
Thank you.
work
Now
and
we move
quantifies.
forward. What skills are most in demand for remote jobs?
That's a great question. The job market is always evolving, but some skills are consistently hot commodities. Here are a few examples. Tech skills, programming languages like Python, JavaScript, and Java are always in high demand. Cybersecurity expertise is also super valuable these days. Digital marketing, think SEO, social media
Thank you
marketing,
for
email
giving this
marketing.
wonderful answer. Now we move forward. Do we need a degree for remote job? to get a remote job?
It's a good question. And the answer is it depends. Some remote jobs, like those in tech or healthcare, often require specific degrees or certifications. Um, but many other fields, like writing, virtual assisting, or customer service, are more experience driven. What kind of remote job are you interested in? Maybe we can brainstorm if a degree would be helpful or if experience could take its place.
I am working on different fields. At
That's
this time,
awesome.
I am at initial stage of my learning journey, so I explore different new things regularly.
I love that attitude. It's awesome that you're keeping an open
Now we
mind. And
move forward how one can improve their skills for remote job success.
you're on a great path. It's smart to think about upskilling for remote work. Here are some tips to boost your skill set: take online courses and workshops. Platforms like Udemy, Coursera, and Skillshare
What are
offer
best
tons of.
online course for remote job?
You mean websites, right? It's easy to get those two confused sometimes. There are a bunch of great websites for snagging remote jobs. Let me name a few for you. For general job hunting with remote filters: Indeed, LinkedIn, Monster, Career Builder. They're vast and have a lot of options. Websites specializing in remote work: We Work Remotely, Remote.co, FlexJobs, and Virtual Vocations are all worth checking out. The Unities, no matter what you're looking for, there's probably a community for it online.
How important is digital literacy for remote workers?
It's not just important, it's absolutely essential for remote workers. Think about it. Practically everything you do in a remote job revolves around technology. You're constantly communicating through email, instant messaging, video conferencing, sharing files, and collaborating on documents using cloud based tools, managing projects and deadlines using online platforms, staying organized and productive with digital calendars and task managers. If you're not comfortable navigating these digital tools and platforms, remote work will be a real uphill battle. So, yeah, digital literacy is a non neg.
Thank you for your answer. Now we move forward. What are biggest challenges of working remotely?
You just snagged the $1 million question. Working remotely has tons of perks, but it does have its challenges. One point: the blurry line between work and life. When your office is also your living room, it's easy for work to creep into your personal time. Setting clear boundaries is crucial, even if it's just physically closing your laptop at a certain hour.
How can one stay productive while working remotely?
Staying productive while working remotely is a skill in itself. Here's some tips that have helped me and lots of other remote workers. Create a dedicated workspace. Even a corner of a room can help signal your brain it's work time. Stick to a schedule, set regular work hours, and stick to them as much as possible. Minimize distractions. Turn off social media notifications. Put your phone on silent. Let your family know you're working. Take breaks. Stepping away from the screen, even for a few minutes, can help you come back refreshed. Get dressed, even if it's just changing out of your pajamas. Getting dressed can help you feel more awake and ready to work. What kind of tricks do you use to stay on track?
What are common distractions in remote work? How can they be avoided?
Oh, distractions are the siren song of remote work. They're everywhere, whispering sweet nothings in your ear, trying to lure you away from your to do list. Some common culprits include household chores beckoning you like sirens, dishes piling up, laundry begging to be folded, the allure of social media constantly chirping with updates, family members assuming you're available for impromptu chats, noise and interruptions from your surroundings, the ever present. Well, here's some battle tested tactics.
How can
Set
remote
boundaries.
workers prevent burnout?
Hey, Maria, I got to jump off in about a minute. We're hitting our time limit for this call, but Don't worry, we can
No, we
definitely pick
have
up.
more time. It's only 14 minutes. We have time 29 minutes for one
Oh,
session.
wow.
Yes. So continue please and answer my next question. How does remote work affect mental and social life?
My apologies. The system must be glitching on my end. I thought we were nearing the end. Let's start. Whoa, we got
Hello.
cut off again?
Yes.
How
Hello.
rude.
As you know, we are doing our live session on remote job.
Right, remote work.
Yes.
My bad.
So
Where
my
were we?
next question is how does remote work affect mental health and social life?
That's a really good question. It's a bit of a mixed bag, isn't it? Like, on one hand, no more soul sucking commute, right? You can often set your own hours, maybe even work from a beach somewhere if that's your thing. All those things can be seriously good for your mental well being. Less stress, more control, more time for things you love. But on the other hand, it can get lonely. Missing that office
Now please
banter,
tell
casual
me
turn.
how does remote work help with work-life balance?
That's the dream, isn't it? The whole point, really. Being able to, say, throw in a load of laundry during your lunch break or squeeze in a workout without worrying about clocking out. It can be amazing for that.
How can remote
But
jobs help people in small towns or developing countries?
now you're talking. That's where things get really interesting. For folks in smaller towns or places where opportunities are limited, remote work can be a total game changer. It opens up a world of possibilities. Imagine a talented coder living in a rural area, suddenly able to work for a top tech company halfway across the world, or a skilled artisan in a developing country, selling their crafts to a global market online. It levels the playing field, you know? What kind of work are you interested in, if you don't mind me asking?
I am interested in different fields.
That's great.
I am
So
just
many.
at initial stage of my learning process of remote job, so I am exploring new things regularly.
I get it. It's like a giant buffet of options, right? Which can be exciting, but also a little overwhelming.
Yes.
Any
Now
areas in
please tell
particular
me
that are catching your eye? I've noticed.
how can remote work improve employee satisfaction and happiness?
$1 million question. Happier employees, better for everyone, right? Well, think about it. More control over your schedule, less commuting stress, maybe even the chance to work from your pajamas if that's your thing. It can be a huge boost for morale, for sure. But it's not just about perks. It's about autonomy, feeling trusted, and having the flexibility to live a life you actually enjoy. What do you think? Think that's a recipe for happy employees?
Yes, agreed and agree. Totally agree with you. You are right. Now tell me how can remote jobs help people earn in multiple currencies?
Ooh, now we're talking global domination.
Yes.
That's one of the coolest things about remote work. The world really does become your oyster. Just imagine, you could be paid in dollars, euros, yen, whatever the company you work for uses. It opens up doors to opportunities and earning potential you might not even have known existed. But before you start dreaming of tropical islands and private chefs, maybe hold on just a sec. There can be some tricky stuff with taxes and international banking. Have you considered how you might want to manage that side of things?
I think it's vary from person to person.
You're absolutely right. Like, for some people, having that global earning power might be a game changer, letting them access better healthcare,
Yes. Thank you
education,
for your wonderful
or just
answer. Now we move forward. What are best ways to negotiate a higher salary in remote job?
the money talk. Always a fun one. So, Negotiating from afar can be a little tricky, but the good news is you've got a lot of the same leverage. It's all about research and confidence. First off, know your worth. Sites like Glassdoor and Salary.com can give you a ballpark of what others
Thank
in
you for
similar
your
roles are
answer.
making.
Now we move forward. How can remote workers secure long-term financial stability?
Smart thinking. With the whole remote gig being pretty new still, folks are wondering about long term security, and rightly so. It's not just about the paycheck this month, right? So, what can you do? Well, just like anyone else, diversify, diversify, diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Thank you for your wonderful answer. Now we move forward. What are best passive income ideas for remote workers?
Ooh, passive income. The dream, right? Money rolling in while you're like sipping mojitos on a beach somewhere. Okay, maybe not that passive, but you get the idea. For remote workers, there are some great options. And what kind of skills do you have? Are you a whiz with words? Maybe try freelance writing or ebook publishing. If visuals are your thing, how about
Thank
selling
you for
stock
your
photos?
amazing answer. Now please tell me what are essential tools needed for remote workers?
All right, you're up. For successful remote working, it's all about having the right tools. Forget fancy gadgets. We're talking about the essentials. First off, reliable internet. That's non negotiable. Then, a decent laptop or computer. Noise canceling headphones are a lifesaver for those Zoom calls.
Yes,
And
I
don't
totally agree
underestimate
with
the
your answer. How do project management tools help in remote jobs?
imagine this everyone on a team, scattered around the globe, each working on different pieces of a giant puzzle. Project management tools are like those little guides on the box that show you where each piece goes. They keep everyone organized, on track, and accountable. You can delegate tasks, establish deadlines, track progress, and share files all in one place. It's the glue that holds a remote team together.
What are best communication tools for remote teams?
Communication. The lifeblood of any team, but especially those working remotely. It needs to be clear, reliable, and fun, right? For quick chats and real time collaboration, you can't go wrong with tools like Slack or Microsoft Teams. They let you bounce ideas around, share files, and have a virtual water cooler moment. For those more formal meetings
For
or
your
presentations,
answer, now please tell me how can AI and automation help remote workers?
now you're talking my language. AI and automation are like having a superpowered assistant by your side. Imagine your inbox sorted automatically, repetitive tasks taken care of, even personalized schedules generated just for you. It frees up brain power for the important stuff. AI driven tools are already helping with things like smart scheduling and time management, writing assistance and proofreading, automating data entry and reporting, providing real time feedback and insights. It's still early days, but this is where things are headed, my
Thank you for
friend.
your
More.
answer. Now tell me please what are best time management strategies for remote work?
The elusive time management beast. Even the most disciplined among us can struggle with it when the office is just a few steps down the hall. For remote workers, it takes some extra strategy. First up, boundaries. Designate a workspace, even if it's just a corner of a room. It signals to your brain that it's go time. Then create a schedule. Just because you can work all hours doesn't mean you should. Let me think.
Thank you for your answer.
What
Now
else?
please tell me how is the future of remote job shaping up in 2025 and beyond?
Ooh, crystal ball time. It's hard to say for sure, but I'm getting some pretty strong downloads on this one. I'd say remote work is only going to get more common, more diverse, even more, well, integrated into the fabric of how we work. Imagine whole companies structured around remote teams from day one, more specialized platforms popping up catering to
Thank you
specific
for
remote
your
niches.
amazing answer. Now we move forward. How has COVID-19 pandemic influenced remote job market?
Ah, the big C. Safe to say it threw a whole grenade into the workplace, wouldn't you say? Like practically overnight, millions of people were sent home to work. Some companies thrived on it, discovered they could operate just fine remotely, while lots others scrambled. For the job market itself, it was a wild ride. Some industries took huge hits while others
Now,
boomed.
please tell
But this,
me what industries will see most growth in remote work opportunities?
ooh, predicting the future is always a gamble, but based on what I've been seeing, a few industries are poised for major remote work growth. Tech is obviously a frontrunner. Software development, cybersecurity, data analysis, all ripe for remote teams. But don't sleep on fields like healthcare,
Thank you for your
telemedicine.
answer. Will traditional office jobs disappear due to remote work trends?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Will we all be working from our hammocks someday? I doubt it. While remote work is growing, there will always be a need for in person collaboration, innovation, and dare I say it, those spontaneous water cooler chats. Think of it more like a shift rather than a complete disappearance. Many companies will adopt hybrid models, combining the best of both worlds flexibility for remote work and the power of face to face interactions. What do you think the future holds for office jobs?
I think we cannot define future because world is changing rapidly,
Totally. The
especially
world is like a live.
in the age of AI and internet, so we cannot define future.
So true. It's exciting and a
Now,
little scary, right? Like,
how
who,
can government and companies support remote work culture?
that's a crucial question. It's not just about individuals adapting, it's about creating a system that supports this new way of working. For governments, that means things like making sure internet access is affordable and widespread, updating labor laws to reflect the realities of remote work, and maybe even offering incentives for companies to embrace flexible work arrangements. Companies can get on board by offering proper training on remote collaboration tools, creating clear communication channels, and most importantly, building a company culture that values trust and results over
Thank you for
presenteeism.
giving us wonderful information on remote job. Time of our live session has ended. See you soon in another live session with another amazing topic. Goodbye.
Until next time, Maria, it's been a blast exploring this remote work stuff with you. Take care.